Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another episode of Wargaming in Miniature. And in this episode, what we're going to be talking about is assembling Robotech RPG Tactics figures. What I've already done is I've already created a couple of destroids here. These are the Tomahawks that you guys are very familiar with. If you play Battletech, they look exactly like the Warhammer. The Warhammer was actually taken from Robotech. Okay. But these are called Tomahawks, and today what we're going to be constructing is the Destroid Defender. It's part of my army list. The Destroid Defender looks, if you play Battletech, it looks a lot like the Rifleman, but it's not. It's not a Rifleman. Here's what we're going to be assembling. This guy right here, and looks like it's going to be pretty easy. I've got the sprues here, I've got my sprue cutter, my X-Acto knife, and my super glue, and that's really all I need. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started constructing it. Now, I'm going to be cutting off all these parts from the sprue, and this is the one sprue. It creates two Destroid Defenders. I'm going to create those two. Well, let me back up. I'm going to cut all these parts off with my sprue cutter. I'm going to trim them up with my X-Acto knife, and then before I get ready to assemble, we'll be back. If you want to see episode 1, where I go into detail about what I do to cut out with the sprue cutter and what I do with the X-Acto knife to trim, that's a really long video. You can go back and watch that if you want. This is just going to be the assembly and the construction of the Destroid Defenders. So I'll be back in just a second when I got all that prepared. Alright, welcome back. It is time to start the assembly. I do want to point something out though. It's 30 minutes later, and these parts were fairly easy to clean the flash off and to snip them from the sprue. It's a lot easier than the Tomahawk, it seemed like. And I think there's a lot fewer pieces on them too. It's, yeah, it looks like there's fewer pieces. Alright, so let's get started. You saw the Defender. And I'm going to learn my lesson from the last time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the halves together first, like the legs. I'm going to start with the legs, torso, weapons, things like that. Anything that's supposed to be glued together, I'm going to do that first, and then we'll start assembling. So, especially on the legs, I go with the holes and the pins first. Holes and the pins, holes and the pins. Okay. So then we try to pair these up. Any of these legs look like they're bent quite a bit. It looks like this one is. Yeah, these two look really good. Let's get my glue ready. Now I'm using a super glue gel. I find it's a little bit more, it's easier to control. You don't get a lot of fuss, mess all over the place. And it fills the gaps a lot better too. So if there's any gaps between your models, the gel will kind of fill that in. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue the hips together. Should be fairly simple. These look a lot like the Tomahawk hips. They're not the same, but they look a lot like them. You would think that they would have gone with some kind of modular format, because they look exactly like, no, not exactly, yeah, pretty much exactly like the Tomahawk. So they should have gone together exactly like the Tomahawk, like make the pieces exactly the same, interchangeable or something, but they're not. This one doesn't have, you have to kind of manually line these up because they're not made the same way. Now, how to do the chest. Okay, that looks like these pieces. Okay, got pin and holes. Okay, and then pin and holes. Nice. What I always do is I put the pieces together first to make sure. Okay, that's the way it goes that way. Yeah, to make sure that it goes together first, and then I put the glue and stick them together permanent. So I do it like a trial test run just to see if they stay or fit together. And if they do, then they're good. Alright, the torsos are together. I'll hold that and let it dry just a second. Okay, looks like the shoulders Those are just one piece. Okay, that's fine. And then the back glues on to the body. And then you have two halves to the gun. The shoulder thing has two halves, and then the gun barrels go into it. So let's put the chambers together. Okay. There should be like 4 of those, so that means there's going to be like 8 pieces. Yikesy. Yep, we got 8 pieces. Yep. Okay, so it looks like we have one with yep, that works. Let me see how it goes together. Yeah, one of the pieces has a ridge and the other one has like a valley, so you can put them inside of each other and so they'll line up. Okay, perfect. Well, when I get all 4 of those put together, we'll be right back. All right, now for the actual construction of the models, I want to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. I think I'm going to do the torsos. First, where are my torsos? Here's my 2 torsos. Okay. Now they've got a back plate that goes on them, but this back plate. Okay, where's my back? All right, fits in. Oh, they fit in pretty nice, pretty easy. Okay, but I don't know if that's going to prevent these guys from fitting in easy. It's up. Nope, that went in pretty dang easy too. And I'm not gluing just yet. Those all fit together great. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little glue on the back of the cockpit. Put the little back plate on. Now we're going to put a little glue on the left and right. I guess those are missile pods or something. I don't know what those are. We'll call them left and right torso. How about that? Some of you might be familiar with that. Okay, that was the left torso. Glue the right torso on. Wait a second. This went on just easy just a second ago. There we go. Okay, so we got the front, the back, the left, and the right. Okay. I don't know if you can really see any of that. These things are small. Squeezing, holding, letting it dry just for a second. Okay. Then we go with the torso, the hip. What goes forward? Oh, the codpiece goes forward. Okay. Again, I'm going to put one perfectly straight. Not perfectly straight, you know, eyeballing it. But it's going to be straight. Oh, wow. That actually went in pretty easily. Okay. See if it'll stand up that way. Oh, it will. Let's straighten it up. Like I said, I want a straight one. Okay. Now on the other one, I'm going to do a little bit of twisting again. Not a whole lot. 15% maybe. 15 degrees, I mean. This time, maybe a little bit to the left. Wait, that one's to the left anyway. What? Whatever. Okay, got both of those done. The hard part Okay, while we're waiting for that to dry, I could glue the barrels into the chambers. I think I want to do that now. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, it looks like the flat piece goes on the outside and the beveled piece goes on the inside. Well, is there an outside and inside? Oh, I see. Yes. Just like that. Okay, got it. Yep. Bevel on the inside. It's toward the body, basically. It's a work of art. Because there is a flat and a beveled piece. Gotta pay attention to the details, man, when you're putting these models together. All right, now once I get all that glued together and that dries, we'll come on back. OMG! I'm putting the legs on backwards. Oh, don't tell me that. Really? Okay. Okay, I'm going to set those off to dry, and then we'll glue them onto the torso in just a moment. All right, now that I have solved the crisis of the legs being put on backwards, let's go ahead. I don't know why. I mean, it's obvious, but I put them on backwards, so they should be dry by now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the torsos to the legs, and we got 2 left legs, 2 right legs. If I do that, whoa. If I do that, it looks like he's actually walking. And if I do that, it looks like he's kind of standing. Okay, that looks good to me. So let's do, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Well, I do need to get 2 bases out anyway. Make sure that they're... Okay, so they're going to be pretty close together. Yeah, so what I'm doing, can you even see that? Oh, okay, you can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the legs on first. And a little bit further back on the base. So that their guns that stick forward will still, the base will still be covering most of the guns. This torso to good use. Some glue on the hip joint and slide it on in. Making sure to have the front to the front. This guy wants to lean back, I can tell, because the legs just don't want to be conducive to him standing straight up, but that's okay. Forcing him to stand straight up. Give that a few moments to dry. I'm going to have to hold on to it because it wants to fall over. Got a torso standing up. Now, these legs are kind of one stepping forward and one stepping back. So let me put the back one further back. See how far apart these guys got to be before I can slide this bad boy down inside there too. Right there. And it might even hold its own. Looks like it is. This guy looks like he's about to tip over. It's like, oh! It's funny looking. Funny. That guy might be the one that's shooting up. This guy might be like just shooting at the ground. Not sure. Not sure how I want to do that. Okay. Again, let's give that about 2 or 3 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the guy that's all laid up. Look at him. His legs are too close together and he's leaning backwards a little bit. So maybe he's leaning backwards because he's trying to shoot up. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that he's doing the anti-air roll and he's shooting upwards. So what we're going to do is we're going, doesn't matter, these are double-sided. They look exactly the same on both sides. They do. So it doesn't matter if you put them on the left or right. I'm going to have them shooting up in the air. It doesn't have to be super straight up and down, you know, just up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, now I'm going to try to put these pretty close together. I mean, you know, aiming at the same target to make it look like the arms are locked together. Like that. All right, now this guy, he looks like he's kind of on the move. He's not necessarily shooting. I need to put him maybe with his guns, not even ready to shoot, just like he's running, you know, his arms are moving. You apply a little pressure on it, it actually dries faster. In my opinion, I think it does anyway. Seems like it does. Okay, now the last thing is the iconic radar dish that goes up on the top of your mecha, and it looks like there's only one place that it would go, and there's a hole right there on the top of the head. Okay, glue didn't want to come out of this thing. What's going on? Okay, there we go. And then we put the curved area forward and the flat area back, and we slide it in. I don't know if there's like a if it bottoms out or if it should stay sticking out. Wow. This thing doesn't want to go in the hole. I don't know if that thing's supposed to spin on the top of the Defender or if it's always going to be locked left and right. You know, if it is always left and right, then we're going to model it left and right. I don't think I've ever seen it where it was spinning, even though it looks like it could spin. All right, so we've got our two Defenders done. Okay, let me give you a close-up view of those Defenders. going. And that's the defenders. So I've got my area denial squad already finished right there. All 4 of those guys. Alright, now the next time we come back, I think I'm going to do the Zentradi officer pod just because I wanted to do it. And then I'll continue with the army list after that. Alright, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. And I'll see you on the next episode of Wargaming in Miniature.